Another vicious dinosaur rivalry comes to a head in this episode, and it's so epic that it forced me to spontaneously burst into a New Zealander accent, although neither Giganotosaurus or T-rex are from anywhere near there. They might be the only way to make them cooler. Both of the dinosaurs have already... Wait, what? You want me to keep the accent? Both of these dinosaurs have already been in Ultimate Battles before, so we're pretty familiar with what they can do. But for the benefit of those who are new to the series, and since we've got some updated information, let's analyse these monsters again. First off, Giganotosaurus. It was discovered in 1993 by Ruben Carolini, and rose to dino superstar fame once the plebeians saw how big it was. Unfortunately, its size was dramatically overestimated. It's not actually 15 metres long, and it doesn't weigh 12,000 kilograms. Those figures are sadly still quoted in many mainstream publications, despite Scott Hartman's 2013 analysis that puts it at 12.4 metres long and weighing 8,200 kilograms. Even that measurement was based on the largest specimen, a jaw fragment approximately 6% bigger than that of the holotype, which Hartman calculated to weigh 6,800 kilograms. Of course, that's nothing to sneeze at. Even their smallest specimen ranks above theropods like Maposaurus, Acrocanthosaurus, and Tyrannotitan, and is on par with Ibrahim's mesh measurements for a 15-metre Spinosaurus. That makes me laugh. Spinosaurus was just so skinny, you know? Alright, let's not make fun of the poor blighter. Back to Giga, which I'll add will be represented in this fight by its larger 8.2-ton specimen, since it's going up against a particularly notorious heavyweight. It does have some advantages over T-rex, however. Giganotosaurus was built to move with greater speed and agility, and its longer arms allowed it to grip opponents with its huge claws. Speaking of opponents, T-rex's binomial birthday was on October 5th. It turned 11D1, making it the oldest super theropod in terms of discovery. And, according to the most recent and rigorous estimates, the biggest dinosaur predator in terms of mass, not even including fragmentary specimens. Ibrahim is Spinosaurus at 6 to 7 tons. I've shown Carcharodontosaurus to be 7.9 tons. Hartman's GDI analysis puts Giganotosaurus at 8.2 tons, and there aren't really any other theropods that can compete with Tyrannosaurus's 8.4 to 9.5 ton range in the case of Sue. It's important to remember that size isn't everything in a fight, however. That being said, a new and massive specimen was recently unveiled in the Netherlands with the name of T.rex, and according to BusinessWire.com, in the skeleton's passport, T.rex was bigger than Sue. Just think about that for a moment. A more than 80% complete, fully adult Tyrannosaurus, 12.5 metres long and 4 metres tall, with an average estimated mass of 9,400 kilograms. There's a link to my calculations in the description. So what does that mean for the fight? We know for certain that Tyrannosaurus was larger, but only by about a ton. That gives it an advantage, certainly, and yet the two theropods are still in the same relative size class. Let's go through point by point to where their strengths and weaknesses. Claws. Tyrannosaurus's arms were incredibly strong, with much more solid muscle framework supporting them than Giganotosaurus's, but they're also much smaller. The two animals are about the same height, so T-rex wouldn't really be able to grip or stab with any effectiveness, while its opponent's reach was more extensive. Point to Giga. Jaws. This one's obvious. Giganotosaurus's skull was relatively slim and thin when compared to the metal-crushing 57,000 Newton bite force of its enemy. Overwhelmingly Rex. Intelligence. Although the encephalization quotients of most large theropods are similar, T-rex's brain had twice the relative mass. It takes this one. Muscle power. As shown previously, Tyrannosaurus has more than a metric ton as a size advantage, granting it greater momentum during attacks, greater inertia during defense, and an increased ability to absorb damage. Agility. Giganotosaurus's lesser size allows for faster movements and higher running speed. It would be the sprinter in this situation. Stamina. Although a slightly slower runner, Rex was built for endurance. Its broad chest with space for massive lungs, and possibly air sacs, could keep it going after its prey like an avalanche. If a chase was involved in the fight, T-rex would exhaust the faster Giganotosaurus. So, my verdict, when each species is represented by a large and healthy animal, is 70-30 in favour of the king. It's bigger, smarter, stronger and more durable, as well as having senses so sharp that it's essentially impossible to ambush. There is a chance that Giganotosaurus could pull off a victory with changing environmental variables that the combatants react to differently, but it's more likely than not that the Tyrant Lizard King keeps its title.